Hi, it's Annabelle, 3M's Finance Friday. It's been a bit of a mad panic because I forgot some creditor letters that I had to get back and then rush back to this hotel. Personal crisis still exists. I shall be able to get a resolution at some point. But in the meantime, I'm going to stay positive and focus on marriage, motherhood and mortgage. So today's Finance Friday. I'm going to be very thorough when requesting a payment suspension and a token payment with my 15 creditors. So I've emailed them, yet to check if I've got a response. These are the letters left that I've got to post. The anxiety towards acknowledging your financial debt. It's a lot. See? It's a lot. Acknowledging financial debt is a huge thing for me because it means, should I become successful in finding employment, or should I be successful in making some sort of a profit in a business, a large chunk of that is going back to debts. £45,000 approximately of financial debt. That's a lot. So unless I win the lottery tomorrow, so I'm going to get a lottery ticket, lottery jackpot win. That's what I'm praying for, because there's only one business that I want to do in life right now because of my post-traumatic stress disorder and the belief that maybe lives in employment may be affected. So that's like co-workers and colleagues. I'm actually starting to believe that their lives might be affected with my employment. So I think of other ways to make money and pay off my debts, aside from playing the lottery every week. Because that is literally my belief right now, that I'm not going to be able to pay the £45,000 approximately of financial debt unless I win the lottery. That is so my belief right now, and I just don't know how to change that. So I thought last week I'll spend all of this week trying to think of how to make money pronto, but the disorder in my daily responsibilities was too much. So now I'm trying to focus on how to manage the anxiety attacks whilst trying to take care of this responsibility of finances. It's very easy for me to take care of my biological health whilst being single. Just literally keep that healthy, balanced diet at home, shall I say, my mother's property. And dating, obviously, I missed the membership special offer, so I guess I gave myself a little excuse. Anyway, enough of that. This is about money. This is about focusing on making money to pay off my debts, get myself a mortgage. So if I don't win the lottery jackpot tomorrow, I'm going to have to think about going from living with parents living with parents to renting privately, or private renting as they say. So right now, every time I start thinking about making money to pay off the £45,000 worth of debt, £45,000 worth of debt, the anxiety attacks start. So that is what stopped me making plans on how to make money. So now, all I'm thinking about is, okay, I'm living with parent. That is the box that I tick under my name, Annabelle IE. So now I need to realistically go from living with parent to private renting. Yeah. Living with parent to private renting. I have enjoyed sleeping in a hotel, minus the nightmares. Didn't enjoy that. It's just nice to have that personal space. So I guess it's not just about a double bed with crisp white sheets. It's the personal space. I have experienced living in my own flat and taking care of that responsibility several times. So now, I guess the hotel stays can become quite the go-to when you're living with parent. But I've got to keep that money up, so spending money on hotels week to week is not going to help me to pay my debts off, and it's not going to help me pay that rent and deposit. I'd say things with step change have changed in 5 years. 5 years ago, I literally filled out the form, gave them all the details, and then they got back to me with my token payment response. But this time, I've had to print out the letters, send the letters, and wait for a response. The process was pretty fast with step change 5 years ago. But things have changed with regards to my debtors have increased. The number of debtors that I have increased by 6. I have 6 more debtors in the past 5 years. Debtors? 6 more creditors. I have 6 more creditors to deal with. So I have 15 creditors now. So it's taken a little longer to get a response from them with how much I owe, because the last 5 years, I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I'm going to be honest. I just didn't care how much debt I was. I was just thinking about how to make that money now and enjoy life as much as possible. And now it's kicking in that I don't want to be chased. I just do not want to be chased by creditors. So it's best I start acknowledging them with the little I can. So yeah, step change has changed a lot. The changes that Step Change have made to their charity have made it more difficult mentally because of the anxiety of waiting for the responses, waiting on hold, looking on the websites to find out. Oh, the anxiety is just too much. So the changes that I've made have caused a lot of anxiety. So these are the last lot of letters that I need to get sorted by 5 p.m. And I need to get something to eat. So that's where we are with Finance Friday. Last week I tried to spend time mentally focusing on how to make that money during the global pandemic when the job market has shrunk. And this week I'm going to try and focus on how to make that money during the global pandemic and how to go from living with parent to private renting, because unless I win the national lottery jackpot tomorrow. It's not going to happen, is it? That £45,000 is not going to be paid off just like that. So yeah, living with parent to private renting during these trying times because of the global pandemic. God, I'm going to really enjoy this night. Really enjoy this night of my last night of personal space, because I cannot factor hotels into my budget anymore, because I've acknowledged my creditors. So night after night in a hotel, just can't do it. So whilst being in a personal crisis and avoiding getting infected with coronavirus, I now have to overcome the anxiety, think about how to make that money to pay off approximately £45,000 worth of financial debt, and going from living with parent to private renting. So in the next 7 days, I hope to have a lot more to say about what went on in that journey, because last week it was just a lot of anxiety attacks. How, and battling thoughts. So I'm now just trying to ignore the thoughts and focus on the how. So I guess not having talking therapy for the last 50 odd days has made it harder, and not being on any pharmaceutical medication has also made it harder to deal with the anxiety. My doctor refused the medication that I requested to be prescribed. And a nurse suggested chamomile tea. But when things are just being sold in a mad panic, I cannot rely on shops, retail shops, to have enough products on their shelves. I just can't. So that's just more anxiety of every time I go to restock up this whole chamomile tea, will it be there? I just don't want to be dealing with it. Just don't want to be dealing with it. So how do I get pharmaceutical medicine to cope with the anxiety attacks whilst focusing on how? Hopefully I have a lot more to talk about. Hopefully. Okay. That's me. Love it, like it, hate it, stay neutral.